Mr. Barr here for your driver's ed lesson of the day. Yesterday you guys looked at Chapter 5, Basic Control. We looked at automatic transmissions, speed control, manual transmissions, and proper steering wheel adjustments and maneuvers. And today we're talking about basic maneuvers. Basic maneuvers, Section 1 is moving into and out of traffic. Most all these moves, I'm just going to emphasize the fact that when you're entering or exiting or doing anything, you need to always blinker, check, enter. Blinker first, because that's communication to everybody around you what you're about to do. Check your mirrors, check your blind spots, then make whatever maneuver it is if it's safe. So that's key to every one of these maneuvers. So the same thing moving into traffic and leaving traffic. When I move in, blinker check. When I leave, blinker check. The best way to make a lane change is to plan in advance. Make sure you maintain speed on lane changes unless it's necessary to speed up or slow down. You really don't want to slow down traffic by changing lanes. But again, blinker check. Make sure the maneuver is safe. Right and left turns. Same scenario here. Check around you, choose the correct lane, communicate with a blinker, position your vehicle and make the turn. Typically you want to follow a curb line on a right turn. You don't want to angle it too short where you're cutting off traffic. Left turn, same scenario here. Check to make sure it's legal to do so. Choose the correct lane, usually the farthest lane to the left. Communicate your intention with a blinker. Position your vehicle to make the turn, and just like the one before, don't make a long turn. Make a turn that keeps you out of traffic, and you go straight until you get to your lane as long as possible. Steering in reverse and making turnabouts. The biggest problem I see with students nowadays with driving in reverse is all they want to do is look at their cameras or look at their rear view mirror only. Both of them are nice resources to see what's going on around you. Beepers can help, but you also need to look backwards. Look the direction you're driving. My mindset for you guys on this is if I'm driving forward, I look forward because it only makes sense. But then all of a sudden we go in reverse and we want to look at a mirror. No, use the mirror as an extra asset, but look backwards as you steer in reverse. Left hand in the middle of the steering wheel, right hand on the back of the chair, looking backwards. They tell you typically if you have to make a turnabout, which is basically, oh, I screwed up, I need to go back the other direction. Your best bet is just to go around the block for everybody's safety. Otherwise, pull in to a lane, road, whatever, and back out. Or you could back into a lane, road, and drive forward out. Both of these maneuvers are maneuvers you'll have to do in driver's ed to prove that you can do those. U-turns are highly frowned upon. They are legal to do so as long as it's legal to do them. Again, just like I told you before, your best bet is to drive around the block and come back rather than make a U-turn. Parking, they go through angle parking, perpendicular parking, all the different types of parking. The biggest thing I'll say about parking is try to enter as straight as possible into your parking place, so you might have to loop out just a bit. This is so that you don't hit cars going in. Same thing when you exit. Make sure you back straight out until you're almost halfway out or you can see traffic, because sometimes it's hard to see traffic as you're backing up, so you want to back up slow. But once you back up to the halfway position, you can see that it's clear. Then start turning, because if you turn too soon, you're going to hit one of the cars on either side of you. Parallel parking, as I mentioned in the rules of the road book, is not tested upon in the driving portion, but it is still something that's nice to know how to do. But what you want to do is get about 3 foot away from a car, and be parallel to it, and then you're going to back into the space And once you start to back into space and your bumper meets the front bumper, you counter steer the other direction. And then when you're done, you kind of want to make sure that you put the car in the center of the space. Parking in driveways, don't block sidewalks. Parking in your garage, make sure again you pay attention to everything around you. The big thing on a garage is when you're backing out, it's hard to see what's behind you. Check. Sound your horn to warn people that you're backing up. Anytime you park on a hill, we've talked about these, uphill to the left, downhill to the right. Put your parking brake on, let it roll into the curb as necessary. There are some restricted parking areas. It's illegal to park at a bus stop in a loading zone, double park or park somebody in on a sidewalk, half in, half out of a driveway, across someone else's driveway, in a fire hydrant area, in front of a school. Some other procedures they talk about in this chapter are passing and being passed. Remember in Rules of the Road I told you passing is legal as long as there's nothing restricting it. But remember, is the juice worth the squeeze? Most times when you pass somebody, you end up right next to them in the next town anyway. So pass if you have to, only if it's safe to do so, that it's not restricted, the weather is good, and you're not driving out of control. When being passed, remember that you have to yield to the car that's passing you, so you may have to slow down to let them re-enter the road. That is it for Chapter 6. Remember to watch these videos, complete your questions for the chapter, and I also will have the review for Unit 2 for you to do as well. Thanks.